Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving deep into something I think a lot of you have probably thought about at some point. Could I actually quit my job in just 90 days?
It's a pretty bold idea.
Yeah, but we're going to see if it holds water.
All right.
We're dissecting a YouTube video by Odetta Rockhead Kerr, and she says it's totally doable.
Okay.
So Odetta's been successful for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
She actually built a six-figure income by the time she was 25 by outsourcing,
Wow.
and now she's a full-time entrepreneur.
Impressive.
But is this just another one of those, like, get-rich-quick things?
Right.
Or does she actually have good advice?
That's what we're here to figure out.
Exactly. We're going to break it all down together and see what you think.
Sounds good.
So Odetta starts off by saying you got to know your survival number.
Oh, okay.
Basically, like, what's the absolute minimum you need every month just to, get by?
The bare necessities.
Right. Like, just to survive.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. It's not about, like, permanently living on a shoestring budget.
Right. It's more about making some smart changes in the short term.
Yeah.
So you can free up some cash to build up your income in other ways.
Exactly. You got to have that breathing room.
Yeah.
Now, Odetta actually breaks down a sample budget in her video,
Okay.
just to give us an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it includes all the basics,
Like what kind of stuff?
housing, transportation, food, all that jazz.
Okay. Yeah, the essence.
And it comes out to a total of $6,500 a month.
Okay, so obviously that's just a starting point, right?
Yeah, of course.
Everyone's survival number is going to be different.
Right.
It depends on where you live, how big your family is, all those individual factors.
Right.
But the main point here is that you've got to actually sit down and crunch those numbers for yourself.
Totally. You got to know that number.
Yeah, it's going to be super important as we go through the rest of her plan.
And Odetta's big on pointing out that this whole thing isn't about getting stuck in some kind of scarcity mindset.
Right.
You're not trying to cut expenses forever. I mean, who wants to do that?
Nobody.
Yeah.
The goal is to use this initial phase to build a launch pad for bigger and better things.
Ah, okay. So it's like building a foundation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And especially increasing your income.
That's where the real freedom comes in.
Totally. And you know what's cool?
What?
Odetta actually walks the walk.
Like she practices what she preaches.
Exactly.
Okay.
She managed to slash her own expenses by $2,000 a month.
Whoa.
Brought her personal survival number down to $4,500.
That's impressive.
And get this, one of her strategies was renegotiating her mortgage.
Oh, interesting.
Saved her $600 a month right there.
I bet a lot of people could do that.
And then she invested in solar panels.
For local panels, huh?
Yeah. Knocked off another $730 from her bills.
Not bad at all.
Right. And you know what?
What?
She mentioned that there might even be government incentives available.
Ooh, even better.
Yeah, to help with those upfront costs.
It's always worth looking into those programs.
Right. You never know what you might qualify for.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What's really cool is that even those seemingly small savings can add up to a big difference.
Definitely.
Like even if you can't install solar panels right now,
Yeah.
don't underestimate those little ways to trim your expenses.
Yeah. Every little bit helps.
Every dollar counts.
Exactly. It gets you closer to that freedom.
Okay, so now for the part that nobody really likes to talk about.
Oh, no. What's that?
But Odetta's super serious about it. You got to have a solid emergency fund in place
Okay, yeah, that's important.
before you even think about quitting your job.
Makes sense.
She recommends at least 6 months of living expenses saved up.
So that's like a safety net.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think of it like your financial cushion.
Mm-hmm. Just in case something goes wrong.
Exactly. It gives you that peace of mind.
Yeah.
So you can focus on building your new income without constantly worrying about, oh no, what if I can't pay my rent?
Totally. It takes the pressure off.
So with Odetta's survival number at $4,500, that means she needed a whopping $27,000 saved.
Yikes. That's a lot of money.
I know. It can seem pretty daunting.
Definitely.
But Odetta has some good advice here.
Oh, good.
You can tap into any existing savings you might have. Maybe stretch that 90-day timeline a bit if you need more time to save.
Okay.
Or even consider a temporary side hustle to boost your savings rate.
Ah, that's a good idea.
Right. It's all about finding what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
The key is to be realistic, but not give up.
Totally. Don't let it discourage you.
It's totally doable.
You just got to put in the effort.
And find the right strategy.
Right. And I think that's what's so great about Odetta's approach. She
Mhm.
gives you the tools and the mindset to make it happen.
Totally. And you know what? This next part is where things get really interesting.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Odetta actually suggests taking 2 to 3 weeks of vacation right at the start of your 90 days.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of counterintuitive.
I know, right?
But I guess it makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
You need that dedicated time to really focus on building your new income streams.
Exactly.
And that's hard to do when you're still working your day job.
It's like you need that mental and physical space.
Yeah, to fully commit.
So the big question is, what are these magical income streams Odetta is so excited about?
Right. Can they really replace a full-time salary?
And can they do it in just a few months?
That's the big question.
Well, she actually breaks down a few different income streams in her video.
Okay.
Her focus is on what she calls recurring and passive income.
I like the sound of that. What does that even mean?
Things that might take a bit of work up front, but then keep paying off over time.
Ah, so you're not constantly trading your time for money.
Exactly. Even while you sleep.
Sounds good to me.
And get this, one of her biggest success stories is content creation.
Content creation? Like what? YouTube?
YouTube,
Yeah.
blogging, things like that.
Okay.
And listen to this.
Okay, I'm all ears.
She made $30,000 from YouTube in just 10 days.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And honestly, kind of hard to believe.
I know, right?
How is that even possible?
Well, it really shows how powerful content creation can be,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're already good at something or you know a lot about a specific topic.
Oh, so you're using what you already know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of her biggest suggestions is to find a niche on YouTube that you can teach others about.
So not just like funny cat videos.
Not just cat videos.
Okay, good.
It's about actually giving people value and teaching them something useful.
Yeah, that makes sense. So how do you find that magic niche?
Well, she shared some examples in her video, which we'll definitely link in the show notes.
Awesome.
But the main point is there are tons of profitable niches out there.
Hmm.
You just got to find one that you're passionate about.
Yeah, something you actually enjoy talking about.
Right. So once you've found your niche, then what?
You just start filming, right?
Yeah, and hope for the best.
I mean, it can't be that simple, right?
Well, not quite. Odetta says consistency is key. She recommends posting at least 3 videos a week.
Wow, that's a lot.
I know. But she also suggests using tools to help with video editing.
Ah, that would be helpful.
Yeah, especially if you're not super techie.
Mm.
So we've got our niche, we're posting consistently, we're editing like pros, then what?
Right, the million-dollar question. When does the money start rolling in?
Well, that's where it gets a little tricky.
Oh.
And it's important to be realistic.
Okay.
It might take 90 days, it might take longer, maybe even a year.
Okay, so no guarantees.
Right. But the potential is there.
Because that's the thing with any kind of business, right?
Yeah, it takes time and effort.
There are no overnight successes.
Exactly. But, YouTube's not the only income stream she talks about.
Oh, good. What else is there?
She's got other ideas up her sleeve.
Awesome. I'm ready to hear more.
And we'll dive into those right after this quick break. Okay, so we're back, and I'm ready to talk about the big question. When do you actually quit your job?
Yeah, when do you take the leap?
It feels like a really big decision, right?
It is. You're essentially betting on yourself.
Exactly. So what does Odetta say?
Well, she doesn't just say, like, quit as soon as you can.
Okay, yeah.
She actually ties it back to that survival number we were talking about earlier.
Ah, that magic number. The one we all need to figure out.
Exactly. How much you need to survive each month without, panicking.
Right, just the essentials. So once you hit that number, you're good to go.
Well, not quite.
Okay.
Odetta actually says you need to be consistently hitting that number for a few months.
Oh, that makes sense. You don't want to jump ship and then realize you can't make ends meet.
Exactly. It's about proving to yourself that you can do this.
Yeah, that you can actually replace your job income.
Or even better, exceed it.
Exactly.
And Odetta actually talks about layering those income streams.
Ah, yeah, we were just getting to that.
Right. So you've got your YouTube revenue, maybe some money from your blog, and then that consistent monthly income from your membership platform.
Right, so it all adds up.
And ideally, it's exceeding your expenses.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's when you're not just surviving, you're thriving.
Exactly. And that's what's so cool about Odetta's story, right?
Totally.
It shows that it's actually possible.
It's not just some fantasy.
Right. You can create a sustainable income
Yeah.
and design your own life.
It's pretty inspiring.
It is. And I appreciate that her approach is so grounded in reality.
Yeah, it's not about getting rich quick.
Exactly. It's about putting in the work and building something sustainable.
It's a journey, not a sprint.
I like that.
And, even if it takes you longer than 90 days,
Mm-hmm.
the skills you learn along the way are so valuable.
Totally. It's about taking control of your future.
Yeah, empowering yourself.
Okay, but I gotta be honest, all this talk about multiple income streams can feel a little overwhelming.
I get it. It's a lot to juggle.
Like, where do you even start?
Well, Odetta's pretty upfront about the fact that this requires some serious hustle.
Okay, so no shortcuts.
Not really, no.
What
She says you're going to have to get rid of that pride.
does she mean by that?
You're going to have to ask people for support. Like,
I'm-
reach out to them, build relationships.
That can feel awkward, right?
It can, especially if you're used to the corporate world.
Right, where everything's so formal.
Exactly.
So how do you do that? How do you reach out to people without feeling pushy?
Well, Odetta suggests just checking in with people, not trying to sell them something right away.
Okay, so just being genuine?
Exactly. Building that connection first.
And then how do you transition to, actually promoting your stuff?
Well, she talks about sharing tips from your blog or your YouTube videos.
Ah, okay, so you're giving them value.
Exactly. You're showing them that you can help them.
It's not just about asking for something, it's about giving something too.
Right. It's a two-way street.
So how often is she suggesting you reach out to people?
She actually gives a specific number, 700 direct messages per week.
Whoa, that's a lot.
It is. It's a serious hustle.
But I can see how it would be effective.
Definitely. Even if only a small percentage of those people become customers.
It can still be a huge impact.
Exactly. And Odetta even breaks down the math.
Okay, let's hear it.
She says if you close just 1% of 3,000 leads per month, that's 30 new clients every month.
And if you're charging $50 a month for your membership,
That's $4,500 in recurring revenue.
just from your membership platform.
Right. And remember, that's on top of your YouTube income, your blog, and any affiliate marketing you're doing.
Right. It all starts to add up.
Exactly. That's the power of diversifying your income.
You're not relying on just one thing.
You've got multiple streams working for you.
So speaking of affiliate marketing,
Yeah, we haven't really talked about that in detail yet.
can we circle back to that for a minute?
Absolutely. I think it's a really cool way to earn money.
I'm curious to hear more about it.
Well, basically, you partner with companies and promote their products to your audience.
Okay, so like recommending things you already use and love.
Exactly. And if someone buys something through your unique link, you get a commission.
Ah, okay, so you're basically getting paid to be helpful.
Right. And Odetta actually suggests some specific programs you can join.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, things like Go High Level, ClickFunnels, and System.io.
We'll make sure to include those in the show notes for everyone.
Awesome.
So you can just sprinkle those links in your YouTube descriptions, blog posts, social media.
Exactly. Anywhere it makes sense.
So it sounds like Odetta's really big on this idea of leveraging every opportunity.
She is. It's about being resourceful and making the most of what you've got.
I like that. So we talked a lot about the financial side of things,
Yeah, hitting that survival number, building income streams.
but it's clear that Odetta's journey is about so much more than just money.
Absolutely. It's about freedom and control.
Yeah, like designing a life that really aligns with your values,
Exactly. It's about having the time to spend with your family
to pursue your passion.
and to make a positive impact on the world.
And you know what? Even if someone listening isn't ready to quit their job tomorrow,
Or even in 90 days.
there are still so many valuable lessons here
Totally. It's about adopting that entrepreneurial mindset
about constantly learning and growing.
and about never giving up on your dreams.
So before we move on, I wanted to circle back to something Odetta mentioned that really stood out to me.
Oh, what's that?
It was a story about a Jamaican entrepreneur who had some major setbacks,
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
but ultimately achieved incredible success.
It's a pretty inspiring story.
It is. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Sure. So this guy, he had a burning desire to quit his job.
Just like so many of us.
Exactly. And he wanted to be his own boss.
That's the dream.
It is. So he decided to start a rental car business.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He invested in a few cars, all ready to rent them out.
Sounds like a good plan.
It did. But unfortunately, things didn't go quite as he expected.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, all of his cars ended up getting totaled.
Seriously? What, like all at once?
Not exactly, but over time, yeah.
Oh man, that's gotta be devastating.
It was, both financially and emotionally.
I can imagine. Like, how do you even come back from that?
Well, that's the inspiring part.
Okay.
He didn't give up.
Wow, that takes guts.
He actually went back to his old job at the rental car company.
Really?
Yeah, he had to swallow his pride.
But he was determined to rebuild.
Exactly. He started saving up again.
Wow. So he essentially started over from scratch.
He did. But this time, he had the lessons he learned from his first attempt.
Yeah, sometimes those failures are the best teachers.
They really are. And eventually, he was able to relaunch his rental car business.
I love that. A true comeback story.
And guess what?
Huh?
He actually ended up becoming super successful.
No way.
Yeah. Odetta even hinted that he might now own the biggest private rental car company in Jamaica.
Wow. So he went from losing everything to being at the top.
It's amazing. Right.
It really shows that you can overcome anything.
As long as you don't give up.
Exactly. And that's the message Odetta really drives home. She says failure is a part of life, and it's okay to fail.
It's true. Everyone fails at some point.
But the important thing is to keep going.
Don't let those setbacks define you.
Exactly. And, that's what's so inspiring about this whole 90-day plan.
What do you mean?
It's not just about the money. It's about creating a life you love.
Yeah, it's about freedom, purpose, and meaning.
It's about having the time to spend with your family, to do the things you're passionate about.
And to make a difference in the world.
Odetta's story is a reminder that it's all possible.
As long as you're willing to put in the work.
And never give up on your dreams.
Exactly.
It's funny, even though we're wrapping up our deep dive into Odetta's 90-day plan, I keep thinking about that story of the Jamaican entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah, me too.
His resilience was just so incredible.
He had those rental cars all totaled.
I know, it seemed like a total disaster.
But he just kept
It
going.
really highlights what Odetta says about mindset.
Yeah, like mindset is everything.
You have to push through discomfort and embrace the challenges.
And never let those setbacks define you.
Exactly. And it's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking, well, I failed, so I guess I'm not cut out for this.
Right, like maybe I should just stick to what I know.
But that's the opposite of what Odetta's all about.
Totally. She wants people to take control and build the lives they really want.
And her YouTube channel is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, she's super transparent about all the hard work.
The late nights, the constant hustle.
But she also talks about how rewarding it is.
Like that $30,000 she made in 10 days from YouTube.
It didn't just happen overnight.
Exactly. It took tons of effort.
And consistency.
She showed up every day, even when it was tough.
That's a lesson we can all learn from.
For sure. And I know this whole idea of quitting your job in 90 days can feel pretty intimidating.
Yeah, it's a big decision.
But Odetta's plan is more like a framework.
Okay.
It's not a strict set of rules.
So you can adapt it to your own situation.
Exactly.
That makes it a lot less scary.
She even says, like, what do you have to lose by taking a little extra time?
Right. If you need a few more months, that's okay.
It takes the pressure off.
And it reminds you that this is a journey.
Not a race.
Even if it takes you longer than you expected.
As long as you're making progress.
And learning along the way.
You're investing in yourself and your future.
And that's something to celebrate.
Totally. So as we wrap up, what's the one thing you really hope people take away from this deep dive?
Good question.
What really stuck with you?
I think it's that you have the power to change your life.
Yeah, you can design a life you love.
And achieve financial freedom.
It takes work, but it's possible.
Definitely. And for me, it was the realization that even if you don't quit your job in 90 days,
It's still a win if you're moving in the right direction.
every step towards financial freedom is a victory.
And a learning experience.
Absolutely.
So, for everyone listening, what's one action you can take today to move closer to your goals?
It could be anything, big or small.
Calculate your survival number, brainstorm some ideas,
Research different platforms.
anything to get the ball rolling.
Every step counts.
And remember, you're not alone in this.
There's a whole community out there supporting you.
We're all in this together.
So let's keep the conversation going.
Share your thoughts and your challenges with us.
We're here to cheer you on.
And remember, even if you face setbacks, don't give up
Keep learning, keep growing.
and keep believing in yourself.
The future is yours to create.
That's it for this deep dive, everyone.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.